Welcome to the Never Too Early Fantasy Football Podcast, where it is never too early for fantasy football. My name is Jeff.
And I'm Jerome.
As always, thank you for downloading, listening, liking, and commenting on our podcast videos. Please join our community by subscribing to us on the socials. Our handle on all platforms is at N2eFantasy. We are also available on all major podcasting apps by searching N2eFantasy. Jerome, what do we have on today's show?
On this episode of the Never Too Early Fantasy Football Podcast, we are recapping action from Week 8, also getting ready for what's upcoming in Week 9. But first, let's start with the latest league news. What do you got, Jeff?
So, we had mentioned last week that wide receiver Tyler Lockett had been granted his release by the Titans, and he has reunited with coach and quarterback Pete Carroll and Geno Smith in Las Vegas. Do you expect Lockett to have a big role here, or do you expect Jakobi Meyers to be on the move here?
Well, I think it backs him up for if Jakobi Meyers goes out the door, but no, I think he's just going to be a supplemental piece. I think that's all he's got left in the tank. Jacoby's been hurt. Bowers have been hurt. I think once they come back, they're going to be running the show regarding the passing offense. So Lockett's going to be third, fourth fiddle. But I don't know. I mean, if Myers leaves, then he might get more touches than we expect.
Yeah, he should be there with Trey Tucker in two receiver sets. And then you got Dante Thornton and Jack Beck, the young guys. So he can actually help bring up the young guys too.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there.
I don't think that we should be running to the waiver wire for Tyler Lockett just yet. Something to file away maybe for later.
Yeah, I mean, he's got continuity with Carroll. He's got continuity with Geno Smith. So, I mean, you never know. Sometimes I feel like when a new QB, like a backup QB comes into the game, a lot of times it's like the backup tight end that gets a lot of touches because that's what they're comfortable with. That's who they practice with. And I wonder if maybe there's something there, something that could be there with these guys based on their comfort level.
Yeah, maybe. And then also we have to factor in how much longer does Geno start given his start to the season?
I think he's got a longer leash. I mean, I think they're still trying to win, and the backup's Kenny Pickett, right? So
till Aiden O'Connell's back.
Well, I mean, Kenny fumbled his first snap in the last game that he came in and replaced Geno. So I don't know. I think Geno's got a longer leash.
Absolutely. Don't forget, Aiden O'Connell should be returning from his wrist injury off of IR soon too. So he looked better than what he looked better last year than Geno has been this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never been an O'Connell guy, but I mean, they might be forced to try something new and find a spark, that whole thing.
Well, and I mean, I've ripped on the Raiders since the beginning of the year. Didn't think that they should have drafted Genty. Thought that they weren't one piece away, and that's why you don't draft the running back there. And he's suffered a little bit because of the ineptness of the offense.
Yep, I agree.
But enough about Tyler Lockett, which I feel like we've been talking about since the inception of this podcast. And so we can move on to our Week 8 recap. And the bye weeks were the Cardinals, Lions, Jaguars, Raiders, Rams, and Seahawks. Big bye-mageddon week here. But the first matchup here was the Vikings at the Chargers. Alex and myself picked the Chargers. Jerome, you picked the Vikings. Unfortunately, Wentz pains his way to a 37 loss. And we've now lost Carson Wentz for the entire season when he's going out with a shoulder injury. One thing I will note about this here is he played with this shoulder injury. And JJ McCarthy is expected to return and play next week. Don't think that that means good things for the weapons right now, but I'll let you break that down in a second. But did you not see JJ McCarthy jump out of the way of Justin Jefferson
No, I didn't see it.
You should go back and look at that clip, because if you watch that clip, you will realize in that moment that JJ McCarthy was healthier than Carson Wentz was, and they were starting Carson Wentz in that game. So he jumped in the air, landed on his bad ankle, and I don't really think they want to use him, but I think they're forced to use him now. What do you think that JJ starting means for the team and the weapons going forward?
I agree with you that the Vikings don't want to start JJ. I mean, they even pushed him down the third string, right? They had that Brosmer kid as the second string QB. I don't think that they want to play him, but at this point, I mean, I feel like they're just throw him in there and go back to plan A, which was to throw him in there and see if he can win games. I mean, I did pick the Vikings to win this game. I was betting on Wentz. It sounds funny hearing it said out loud, but I was betting on Wentz. I thought he was really good for that offense. He was throwing for over 300 yards. I just felt like, the defense would stop a Chargers team that, I usually don't like. And, they made me look pretty bad, but Wentz was hurt. So that will be my excuse to get out of this. But I think JJ starting is going to be a pretty huge downgrade for the other pass catchers. I don't think it's going to be this Joe Flacco effect where it somehow raises guys. I mean, Chase is getting 16 targets a game. I don't think that's going to be JJ with a new QB. I don't think they're going to find a way to funnel to him. I just don't think it's going to happen. I just think it's going to be kind of a fail.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. On the flip side, though, Herbert does have a great game with 3 touchdowns against a pretty good Viking defense. And Vidal looks like a lead back with 23 carries, 117 yards, and a touchdown. And then if you add in on top of that, it looks like McConkey and Gadsden are going to be the go-to weapons for years to come for Herbert at this point, because they're both young. They're both in their first or second year of their rookie deal. And you assume Keenan Allen's a 1 or 2 year bridge. And who knows what QJ turns into. It seems like he's taken a 4th seat, if you will.
Yeah, Gatson is making me crow a little bit. I mean, last week on the pod, I didn't think he had it, but I mean, he's staying hot. So, I mean, at some point, you got to believe that it's real.
He's a receiving tight end, and we love those here. We love those.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm glad McConkey's, I'm glad the offense is kind of going back through him. I mean, Keenan, it was cool with Keenan. It was cool with QJ. Everybody was talking about it. I mean, I feel like a lot of trades were happening in the fantasy world with those guys at the beginning of the season. And now, like, the script has flipped.
For sure. And I could see that being a frustrating fantasy core, because I could see it being an Allen week and a Johnston week and a McConkey week. And I could see them rotating depending on what the coverage and the team that they're playing is. So, but they have unlimited weapons. Getting Joe Alt back completely changed their entire offense. And I think Herbert is undefeated with at least a mediocre to good left tackle. So
Yeah, that was one of the things I put in my notes. I mean, the Chargers really established the run in this game. It was a Harbaugh kind of game. The Chargers had 43 carries in this game. The Vikings had 11. I mean, I don't know, that's just domination, line of scrimmage domination, because not only did they have 43 carries, but they were successful carries too. And I mean, that's the type of game that Jim Harbaugh wants to play.
absolutely, 37-10 blowout, and we'll see what it looks like going forward. But that's going to be a common theme throughout this entire week here. And the next matchup here was the Bills at the Panthers. All 3 of us picked the Bills. Dalton had a horrific start for the Panthers, and the Bills do end up winning 40-9. As you're noticing here, there's a blowout theme throughout the week. There's only a few games that were relatively close, but Allen and Cook dominate this game with 5 total touchdowns between the two of them. And Dowdle outproduces Hubbard again, but Hubbard does score. Coach Dave Canales has said that Dowdle will get slightly more carries than Hubbard going forward, and we don't know if that's because Hubbard's still recovering from his injury this year or if it's permanent change. And then we have Tet McMillan still producing, even though Dalton had 3 or 4 turnovers in this game. And that was really the biggest difference in this game, because in the beginning of the game, they could move the ball, they could run the ball. It was just Dalton taking untimely sacks, untimely turnovers. It was all Dalton, and he's so slow at this age.
Yeah, I thought Dalton was going to have that Joe Flacco effect with this offense and raise them up to a higher floor than what Bryce Young has done. And that was a wrong call. All old QBs are not created equal after all that talk with Rodgers versus Flacco, and the 40-year-old QBs, yada yada. Maybe I bought into that a little too heavy, and Dalton brought me back to earth. Josh Allen, I mean, he only had 12 completions this game for 163 yards. I mean, he just didn't have to do anything. I mean, James Cook was just untouchable, seemingly. They just rode him to victory.
Yeah, he needed a second bye week going into that Chiefs game coming up, so Josh Allen got a mini second bye there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be a big one this upcoming week.
Absolutely. The one thing I'll say about that matchup, and I'll say more about it when we get to it, is the Chiefs are on a short week once we get to their Monday night game, so Bills will have a slight rest advantage going into this week. Anything else on this matchup that you could take away?
The last thing I was going to add was the Hubbard and Dowdle situation for fantasy. They're trying to force Hubbard. It's not looking like the right idea just yet, but I think they're going to keep doing it. I think they're who they paid the money to. I think he's their guy. I think he's their locker room guy. All that stuff that they talked about when they paid him that salary, the guy that works hard and the guy that earned it is who they wanted to pay and be a leader for the team. And I just think that they're going to make that happen. If he's still getting healthy, as he gets healthier, I think the snap share it's going to lean more and more in Hubbard's favor.
Yeah, I will agree with that. The Panthers' run game is good. I feel like I've said that before in the past too, before we were doing this podcast, like with Williams and Stewart, those days. But Panthers' run defense not as good as it had been all season long in this matchup, and I don't know if that's James Cook or this game just got away from them and their heart wasn't in it, but hopefully onward and upward to better things soon. All right, anything else? Right.
No, nothing else.
We can hop over to the Bears at the Ravens. We had Alex and Jerome pick the Bears, and I picked the Ravens. The Ravens did win. The note here is Lamar Jackson, which all signs were pointing to him playing. Alex had surmised that he potentially was not playing this upcoming week, and Alex was right. I don't know the oracle's missing on this podcast, but here we are with Lamar Jackson not playing, and the Ravens still win 30-16. Not quite a blowout, 2 full score game though. Derrick Henry does score 2 touchdowns in this game. And Caleb Williams does not have a great overall day. That first drive was masterful by the Bears, but as soon as the game was off script, which everyone knows, the first drive of both offenses is completely scripted. There's really no deviation. This whole game plan has been put into place all week, something they practiced. Once you get Williams off of that script, he's not good. And then but what is good is his connection with Rome Odunze, and he goes over 100 yards here, and I think the guy's going to get over 1,000 yards this year and in year 2, and he's going to make the year 2 jump. But what did you notice here, Jerome?
I bet on the Bears to win this game. I thought that whether Lamar played or didn't, I just thought the Ravens defense I just thought the Bears were just going to run it down their throat. But the Ravens ended up bringing some guys back from and that really made a difference. That combined with Caleb Williams, I mean, he just didn't go out there and win the game. And the more and more I see games like this, the more I feel like he's just he just doesn't have it. Um, this team really leans on the run game. I mean, look at the season Swift is having, even Monangai. I mean, I feel like they're trying to either hide Williams or pressure off of Williams, um, to make the offense work. And he's just not ready to lead it. He's not ready to just go out there and win the game with the team on his back. And I don't even know how that's not possible. I mean, there's the wide receivers are 3-4 deep. The running backs are too deep. The tight ends are too deep. I mean, the way they invested in the offensive line, I just can't. I mean, if you can't be successful in that, I don't know what else to tell you. Uh, as far as the Ravens go, Derrick Henry just looks old to me. I mean, I know he scored 2 TDs, but I don't know. I feel like I'm already starting to see it, and I'm curious to see what happens when Lamar gets back. Does that put some skip in everybody's step? Does everything just look better? Do they start to score? Does it open more running lanes? But I don't know. Derrick Henry never needed running lanes. He never needed Lamar before, right? I mean, there could be 11 guys in the box and he'd still run for 100 yards. I feel like those days are done. Yeah.
You're probably not wrong there. I do think I think having Huntley and Cooper Rush before that has allowed teams to play strategically for Henry, but he's still scoring touchdowns even though that they're playing strategically for him. So I think it's good. I think there's better days ahead for Henry. I think there's better days ahead for this entire offense, and they still scored 30 points here against the Bears.
Yeah, and I believe the Ravens are still in the driver's seat to win the division per Vegas odds, which is pretty surprising. I mean, it was that way 2 weeks ago too, which was even more surprising. But you're seeing a couple Steeler losses, you're seeing a Ravens win, Cincy win. I think it's not the open and shut case for the AFC East like it appeared to be a couple of weeks ago.
Absolutely. Anything more on this matchup here? All right, hop over to the Browns at the Patriots. All three of us picked the Patriots. The Patriots won. Patriots ended up destroying Cleveland 32-13. I think Cleveland actually took a 7-0 lead in this game too, which makes this a little bit more surprising. Dylan Gabriel should not be starting for the Cleveland Browns. This was one of the most embarrassing starts for a current NFL starter. I don't know if we're any closer to Shedeur Sanders at this point. I know the coach is starting to get asked questions on that, and it does seem like he is getting more and more frustrated as the days go on as well. But even though Gabriel had a bad day, both Njoku and Fannin scored touchdowns on National Tight End Day, which is a holiday apparently. And if we flip over to the Patriots side of the ball, I guess today was a Mac Hollins day, which I know I had said last week that it appeared that Diggs was the guy and Booty was the number 2 guy. And you had correctly said the touchdown thing. Diggs did get his first touchdown in this game. But Drake May has another great game, even though he's not featuring anybody, which is very frustrating as a fantasy player. Almost like the Tom Brady effect where you scattered around to no-namers all the time. But Brady always had Gronk that he went to. And here's the interesting thing, like Henderson, I think, had like one or a handful of carries last week. Now he's splitting carries with Stevenson. Like, this is an ever-evolving backfield right now because Stevenson didn't really do anything wrong to lose some snap share here, but the rookie was more productive on the day. Anything from the Patriots or the Browns here?
So starting with Cleveland, I think Gabriel has more leash. I don't think he's should be considered being benched. This was his first game with an interception this season. I feel like he's managing the offense. I feel like up until this week he's minimized the turnovers, and that's the best they could ask for right now. He's not going to put the team on his back. I think that's established. But, hand the ball off to Judkins, right? Even though he got dinged up in the shoulder, AC joint, it sounds like, and try to win the game with good defense and a running game and a QB that does just enough. I mean, we've seen that work. I think that's all Cleveland's got right now, and they're trying to make that work. Myles Garrett had 5 sacks himself this week, which, we already know what we need to know about him, but I think it's kind of telling that Drake May, like everybody's favorite son right now, I mean, he's taken that many sacks. He needs to improve on that because it's going to turn into fumbles or it's going to turn into an injury, and this magical ride is going to be over. But at the end of the day, Patriots were the better team and they came out on top.
Absolutely. And if I had told you that one player sacked Drake May 5 times and the Patriots still scored 32 points, you probably would have been like, what? So that's not normal.
Yeah, no, they overcame it.
Absolutely. All right, now we can move on to the Dolphins here at the Falcons. We all picked the Falcons. This was one of the favorite survivor picks of the week, where a lot of people picked the Falcons to beat the Dolphins. That did not happen. The Dolphins won this matchup 34-10. And Tua does get benched in this game, but it's for a good reason this time because he actually had the team so far ahead that they put the backup in. Ollie Gordon getting more involved, which I don't know if you've noticed in this game, but the run game between Achane and Gordon, it was pivotal to the winning this matchup.
Yeah, this is Tua's first game he's ever played with a visor on. His eye was injured and he put a visor on for the first time, and obviously it didn't affect him. I thought that was interesting. Waddle looked fast. I mean, that one touchdown he had, that crosser, I mean, he just seemed like so much faster than everybody else, not even marginally faster. I just don't understand. I mean, I'm a Mike McDaniel guy, and I don't understand how he's not scheming this up. I don't know how he's not getting Waddle the ball more, finding a way for Tua to do it downfield without it being, a bubble screen, or something with an A dot that's -2. So I don't know. Hopefully they work on that and build off that. Yeah, the running backs. I mean, Ollie Gordon. I mean, he was kind of a hot commodity during rookie drafts, during auction drafts. He started to get hot, through the preseason, and everybody was picking him up. Achan, I think, had the calf or something, and everybody was just thinking, this could be his year. I mean, same thing with Jalen Wright. I mean, Jalen Wright is just nowhere to be found, and I thought he was really going to be, that number 2 back behind Achan, and that has not happened thus far. As far as Atlanta goes, flipping to Atlanta, I mean, Cousins, I mean, this was his chance, I think, to maybe get traded and put on a show and maybe find somebody who wanted him, and he really just didn't do it. He looked like the guy last year that got benched. Uh, like you said, Bijan, the whole team had a poor game, which is crazy. I mean that's what's fun about the NFL, right? Atlanta could kind of dominate the Bills and win that game, and then have Miami come to them at home and just get you know just get smushed. I mean, this is why we watch.
Absolutely. And you forgot to mention National Tight End Day, and Kyle Pitts goes 9 targets, 9 catches for 59 yards. So nines are wild for Kyle Pitts here. But as you said, Cousins, very forgettable start. Bijan, very forgettable start. Very forgettable Atlanta Day overall. No Drake London in this matchup. He missed it due to an injury. And as you said, Waddle needs to get more involved. And I think that Waddle's the number one, unquestioned number one going into next year.
Yeah, and I didn't forget to mention Pitts. I purposely omitted Pitts just because, you know, I'm just not a Pitts guy. I think it's over. But hey, 9 for 59, 14 points in a PPR. I mean, pretty much everybody would take that.
Absolutely. And when we talk points on in this podcast, very often we bring up that we do half point PPR. So whenever I do bring up points per game, it usually is half point, just so we're on the same page. I know we haven't said that yet. All right. Hopping over to the Giants at the Eagles. And I know we play in a whole bunch of half point PPR leagues, actually. So I think it's 4 right now, Jerome. All right.
Yep, 4 or 5.
Not 6, 7.
Or 10 or 41.
As the kids say today, 6, 7.
Yeah, you got it.
Giants at Eagles are our next matchup here. You picked the Giants as the lone dog. Alex and I picked the Eagles. The Eagles did win this matchup. 38-20, another blowout. Hurts and the Eagles get revenge on the Giants. Hurts throws for 4 touchdowns, and this was all without A.J. Brown, which does lend credence and credibility to the hope that they're going to trade him. We also have Barkley having his best day, but does injure his groin. And then Cam Scattaboo. Speaking of injuries, his leg was facing the wrong direction and had to be air casted and already went through surgery, and he will miss the remainder of the 2025 season.
Yeah, the Eagles, did me dirty with my Giants pick. I just thought that the Giants would just keep that momentum going, but that did not happen. Cam got hurt and it only just deflated them even more for as much as I'm sure they wanted to rally for him. But I don't know if you saw, but the linebacker that tackled Cam Scattaboo, Braun, the All-Pro, he was so distraught that he injured Cam that when the game ended, he didn't stay to celebrate with the team. He immediately got a ride to the hospital and went to Cam Scattaboo's room and checked on him. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Tyrone Tracy is going to be the hot waiver ad in fantasy leagues right now, and I think there's something there. I mean, Tracy was great, and this Cam thing just kind of happened. Scattaboo. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Scattaboo had like this great yards per carry or anything like that. I think there was some volume there, and he scored some short touchdowns in that 3-touchdown game. I think that was a little bit of a fugazi. Everybody was just riding this wave of, the personalities of Jackson Dart and Cam, and they got a big win. It was all fun, and everybody was flying high, but I think Tracy could really do well. I would definitely be trying to add him if I could in fantasy. As far as the Eagles go, it's nice to see Barkley kind of get back to being the old Barkley after a couple of games, even though he did get dinged up at the end with the groin. Hurts looked good. He's had a couple of good games. Goddard had 2 touchdowns on only 3 targets, 3 catches. Touchdowns have always been Goddard's issue, so it's nice to see him score some. I think
It's National Tight End Day.
Yeah, right. Is it? Did we talk about that? I think the Eagles should trade AJ Brown. I really do. I think the guy is just, I don't know. There's just more negative with positive with him, it seems. And I'm just not sure he's worth it, And the way the Eagles have had to do what I call, the salary cap gymnastics with, Jalen Hurts has like 7 void years on his contract to stretch out his salary and keep his cap number down. I just think at some point, Barkley's making a ton of money. I think at some point they're going to have to free something up. And if it were me, I would probably trade AJ Brown.
So I don't disagree with you there. The only thing I will say is AJ Brown in the right atmosphere and the right involvement in the offense is a good AJ Brown. And I don't think the Eagles can give him that. And he's not a guy that's happy with championships. He wants to be involved in winning those championships. And which is fine. But you can't be on a team like the Eagles that spread the ball around this much, or having a running quarterback that may not even pass for 100 yards in a game. Like, that's not, and paying two wide receivers what they paid two wide receivers makes zero sense to me. So, but their GM's one of the best in the league, so I'm assuming that he'll find the right deal if it's out there. And I've always questioned the coaching of the Eagles because they have the most talent in the league and they don't always act like it.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens. I don't think AJ Brown will get moved. I mean, not at the trade deadline. I feel like the NFL deadline ends up as a bust more often than not. But in the offseason, I mean, I'd love to see something happen in the offseason. Where to? I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. I mean, maybe there's like a AJ Brown for Max Crosby type of trade or something where it's big ticket, big salary guys, and it could help the offense in Las Vegas. I don't know. I mean, who knows? I guess we'll have to just wait and see.
No, I don't disagree with that at all. I had thrown out there Pittsburgh would be the perfect place for him because it's a 4-month marriage with Aaron Rodgers at most, and Aaron Rodgers is going to retire, and I think AJ Brown and Aaron Rodgers could get along for 3 to 4 months, and then we'll see what happens after that. But that could be the missing piece, not the MVS that they had just signed.
I mean, the Steelers are definitely acting like they're in win now mode. They traded for a defensive back, they added MVS, but I don't think the fit is AJ because I don't think the Steelers have I feel like the Steelers offense is kind of like the Eagles. I feel like it's more about efficiency. It's not about 50 pass attempts a game. And I feel like AJ wants the 50 pass attempt offense.
Absolutely, and they do exist. They just need to find a spot for them. So,
Yeah.
all right. Anything else on the Giants Eagles? This will be the last time we talk about them matching up this year already in Week 8.
No, that's all I got.
All right, Jets at Bengals is the next matchup. We all picked the Bengals thinking that we were going to get another Joe Flacco magic game, and what we got was Justin Fields forced to start this game because of a Tyrod injury. So I do think that the Jets wanted to and intended to start Tyrod Taylor in this matchup, but they do win, the Jets, 39-38. And that was all on the back of Breece Hall, who has a big day. There is rumors out there that he could be traded, and the major source of his trade would be the fact that they cannot agree on an extension. So that is the biggest culprit there. Not that they want him out of the locker room, that they're not agreeing on the money that for Breece Hall right now. And if Alex were here, he would be able to vouch for this. This doesn't mean as much without him here, but I'm a avid Tyler Johnson fan, and we got a massive Tyler Johnson sighting in this game, and Justin Fields' go-to wide receiver with Garrett Wilson and Josh Reynolds out in this game. But on the other side, Jamar Chase had 19 targets. The problem here, and you're going to have to eat a little bit of crow on this one, but T. Higgins only had 2 targets. That to me doesn't sound like a winning formula. I know you called a T. Higgins game here. He did score the touchdown, but can't really be happy with the two targets. And then P. Ryan outperforms Chase Brown on the ground. And Alex, before the season, was a big Taj Brooks believer. And he swore to me either on the podcast or offline, probably more so offline. So he didn't get me playing it back for him and for eternity, but he told me that Pirine would not be a factor in this backfield at all, and I think he's been a factor in this backfield.
No doubt about it. Fields does not have an interception yet in the season. And I think that's notable because, there's this stigma that they're losing and he stinks. And I mean, he's got a couple of fumbles, I think, but I'm not really sure he's, as big of the problem as we make him out to be. Definitely part of the problem, but I mean, this just sounds like rinse and repeat from like his time in Chicago. He's got no receivers. maybe one when he's available. The O line stinks. The defense kind of stinks. I mean, he's just not surrounded. Given all that, I think he is doing about as well as he could. Um, he's not running a ton. I mean, this game it was 11 for 31, so I mean, he's running a little, but I mean, I feel like last year, was it last year or the year before? I mean, he had like 100-yard rushing games and these long touchdowns. It seemed like every other week or something like that. And I don't know where that guy went,
Didn't he injure his foot in the
but
preseason?
I don't remember.
But he
But
missed a big chunk.
yeah, I mean, maybe there's something there, but he's just, I don't know. He just seems like a different type of QB right now.
Dislocated his toe in the preseason.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yep, that part I remember because everybody thought he was going to be out, and he was like at practice the next day, right?
But it might be hindering his running.
After a big overreaction. So yeah, Brees Hall showed up. I mean, that was cool to see. Maybe that was an audition
Let's go.
for future teams.
Giants need a running back now.
Yeah, yeah. As for Cincy, I mean this offense. I mean this offense is for real. Say what you want with Flacco and a poor O line and target distribution being about as off kilter as you've seen it on any team in history. With 19 targets to Chase and 2 to T. Higgins, but it's working right now. And they scored almost 40 points again. And I don't think that's going to change.
Yeah, we do have to watch out for Joe Flacco, though, because he did have a shoulder injury in this game, and it's something that we're going to have to watch out. He did get checked out before the last drive, and he is day to day, from what they're saying. That was my biggest gripe when he brought in Joe Flacco, who's 40 plus years old. This offensive line's one of the worst in the league. I didn't know how long Joe Flacco would hold up, and some of that is coming to fruition quite early.
Yeah, no, I think I felt that way originally too. I mean, and that was part of the surprise with what he's doing right now. He's just, against all odds,
Joe Flacco.
just doing really well. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So we can hop over to the next closest matchup of the week. And I think this is actually the second closest matchup of the week. This was the 49ers at the Texans. We all picked the 49ers, but to Alex chagrin, the Texans did win this matchup. Stroud outduels Jones. Texans do win 2015. This was a game where Nico Collins did not play. But what I noticed here first was not CJ Stroud. Christian McCaffrey has a pedestrian day, and Woody Marks is slowly overtaking for Nick Chubb. And I also did not notice very many receiving highlights this week.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a good game for the Texans. It's what they needed. The 49ers, I mean, I don't, they've been winning more than I would have expected with Mac Jones and all the injuries. So I feel like they kind of came back to earth a little bit with this one. I mean, Houston's got like the best D in the league. I mean, they're only allowing 14 points a game, best in the league. I think I heard a stat. It was something like they were like the first team since the merger to allow only 14 points a game and still have a losing record. So that's an indictment on the offense. I mean, I feel like Stroud is maybe starting to figure it out a little bit, right? He had a good week last week, good week, this week. So we'll see what happens. But beyond that, I mean, Woody Marks, I mean, I'm not surprised. Chubb, I think it's over for Chubb. I mean, Mixon isn't even in the discussion anymore. He's not even talked about anymore. It's not even, hey, is he coming back this week anymore? Like it's over. Nobody even asks anymore. So, maybe it's time for Woody Marks to do his thing. I mean, the part that I find the most surprising is Dameon Pierce, right? I mean, I know that was a different OC, different system, but he was so good. Was that 2 years ago? 1 year ago? 2 years
It was
ago?
like 2
I
or
mean, he
3
was
years
so
ago. Yeah.
good. I mean, he looked like he was the heir apparent. I mean, he was like the hottest waiver wire pickup, the hottest rookie draft pick. Everybody felt like they hit the jackpot that season. And then they just totally moved away from him. But it's Woody Marks's turn. He was drafted by this coaching staff, and they're going to let him run.
Yeah, if you remember, if you've listened to the podcast since the beginning, I haven't been a Damian Pierce guy since the beginning. Alex was very big on him. Yep, here we are. But I think there's better days ahead for the Niners. I think they're going to get healthier as the season goes on, and I think they have one of the easiest strength of schedules in the NFL. So I do expect them to at least get the 7th seed from the NFC. So we'll see if that's true, but that's still my expectation, and I wouldn't even be surprised if they won their division. All right.
I know you want them to win. LA's been pretty good, and
Do like the
Seattle's
Rams.
hanging in there.
I like the
Yeah.
Rams. I mean, I like Seattle a lot more with Darnold at the helm, so that's for sure. But we can hop over to this division rival matchup here, where the Buccaneers were at the Saints. We all picked the Bucks. And the Bucks don't even do much at all in this game, and they win the matchup 23-3. They did so little that the Saints benched Rattler for Shuck, and it appears that Tyler Shuck is going to be the quarterback going forward. And I had in my notes here Alex special, but unfortunately Alex wasn't able to join us tonight. Sean Tucker sighting. He cannot quit Sean Tucker. He could not quit Roshan Johnson or Ronald Jones. I get the Rojos all mixed up. But do you have any additional takeaways in this matchup? This felt like a very lackluster matchup.
Yeah, Rattler had that bad pick six. He threw it right into that D lineman that was coming at him and just trucked him for the touchdown. That seemed to just put a bad taste in their mouth and caused Kellen Moore to try Shuck at QB. They named Shuck the starter. I think I was pretty surprised by that. I think he ain't it. But I'm guessing it's time for him to get some reps and see what he could do, and maybe they want to see what they have. He was a second round pick or a third round pick or something like that this year. He was a relatively early pick. So I'm guessing this is more that than it is who really gives them their best chance to win. I think Rattler's been pretty good considering, but Kamara's toast. Kamara's got nothing left. He really doesn't. He's averages 2.8 yards a carry or something. But now Kendray's gone and Devin Neal's left. And given that situation, they just are probably going to stick with Kamara, right? He doesn't want to be traded. So I don't expect that to happen. Not that he has a say in it, but it feels like he has a say in it.
He does.
As far as Tampa Bay, they just did enough. Baker was okay. I was a little surprised by the 50-50 split with White and Tucker. So I don't know, but I'm hoping Bucky comes back
right after
and
the
just rights the ship with this whole thing and just gets back to 80 to 90% snap share, and the running back, the wide receivers come back, and this offense starts humming again.
Yeah, and I don't hate your verbiage there, right the ship. So it's what the Buccaneers need to do, is right their ship. But I do expect healthier days ahead from them. I expect Godwin back. I expect Irving back. Neither one of them went on IR, so neither one of them should be long-term absences. All right. And this is one game where Alex picked up one on us here, Jerome. But the Cowboys at the Broncos, we both picked the Cowboys. He picked the Broncos. Dak gets benched. The Broncos win 44-24. Dak was just off in this game, and I wonder if it's because of the air pressure or what was going on. But when a baseball player hits a ball in Colorado, that ball just flies. And I'm wondering if Dak was just a little off on his deep passes because that ball was flying on him. But Javonte does score 2 rushing touchdowns in this one, which he claimed revenge game on this. So I believe that he at least fulfilled his end of the bargain with 2 rushing touchdowns. Still have no idea how to rank the Broncos wide receivers. Week to week, it's confusing, and I bet you if you were to drill it out more, there might be a home and away split. It does seem like Knicks, with 4 touchdowns in this one, plays better at home. So I don't know if his long ball just goes longer at home. So I think there's some things that we should look in analytics wise with Mile High and what the football does when it's thrown there, because we do know that the longest kick was there for a while as well. Even without Knicks, Dobbins and Harvey do have great days on the ground, but this was the Cowboys' very mid rushing defense. So any takeaways from you on this one here?
So for Denver, I mean, their offense is clicking right now. I mean, in their last 3 quarters, they scored 60 points in 3 quarters of football. I think that was between the end of last game and the beginning of this game. I mean, they're starting to figure it out. I mean, and Harvey made some noise this week, which I thought was cool to see. I mean, this has been such a down year for fantasy rookie running backs, but this is when it starts to turn. This is when some guys start to get reps. This is when they start to let loose. This is when, the veterans get some rest and the guy shows up, rookie shows up. Next thing you know, the rookie's earning more touches. Maybe the season totally becomes a lost year, and they give the young guys a chance. So, I was interested. It was interesting to see RJ start to do something with the ball. He's been kind of a dud so far this year. Patrick Surtain was hurt, but it didn't matter, which is crazy that Dallas still couldn't get anything going with him out of the game at the end. Jake Ferguson, 0 catches, and by default, 0 yards. That was not planned. So that was, I mean, the whole thing. I think it was just an off game altogether for Dallas, all around. Everybody was off. I mean, even though Javante had the 2 touchdowns, it was very inefficient. 3 yards a carry. They just didn't have it. They just got smushed.
Yeah, not on National Tight End Day. Darn.
Oh yeah, was it National Tight End Day?
Oh
I
my
forgot.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, there's not much to take away from this game, really. I just think it was a 1-game aberration for both of them. I don't think the Broncos have looked this good yet this year. And I don't think the Cowboys have looked this bad yet this year. So I don't really know what to take away from this yet until I start seeing more of a pattern.
Yeah, I agree with you there. But I mean, I think the Broncos are 6-2, so I mean, they've
Absolutely.
got a winning track record so far.
Well, they're well coached. I will say that. They do know how to beat teams, and the way to beat the Cowboys is run the football. That's what the Panthers did. So that is the winning formula against the Cowboys. So they do have it figured out. They do have a great coach, and he did it. He did have a good game plan in this one, even though he's petty when it comes to Russell Wilson still.
Didn't the Cowboys trade Micah Parsons in order to fix the run defense?
Sometimes their owner just speaks out of both sides of his mouth. I do think that the Parsons trade ended up better than they thought it would at this point. Like, their offense is usually humming. It was not in this one. And it would have been interesting to see what it would have looked like if their offense was humming and this would have been like a 50-44 game, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Ready for the Titans here. Remember the Titans. They're at the Colts. We all picked the Colts. Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor lead the Colts with 5 touchdowns for a 38-14 win. Another blowout here. Pittman has a great game as well. And don't look now, but I believe he's actually a wide receiver 1 on the year, scoring wise. So not a lot of people might know that. So just something to keep an eye on. Cam Ward still has some room to grow, but it does seem like the lack of media attention is going to give him that valuable time to grow without the pressure of being the number 1 overall pick, which is extremely helpful because not very many people get what he's getting right now. I think he's the least talked about first overall quarterback in quite some time. And it looks like Tajay Spears is starting to overtake Tony Pollard, or this is becoming more of a 50-50 split, because I don't really believe there's a reason to start taking things away from Pollard. Pollard's older. Pollard has less tread on his tires and less time left in his career, so why give it to the guy that's younger and has more time in his career? And then it looks like also DK is passing Io Manor. And do you have any takes on
Hmm.
those two position paddles in Tennessee first, and then you can rant and rave about the Colts for a minute.
I mean, Tajay looked good. Just had some bounce, that Pollard just doesn't seem to have. I mean, Pollard's got that floor, Tajay's got the pop, and he showed it. 959 and a touch on the ground, 3 for 23 in the air. I feel like that's what the Titans offense needs, right? I mean, they need something. It's just not going anywhere right now with Pollard. Though I do gotta say, Cam Ward, his first 4 games this season, so he's played 8. His first 4 games this season, he's averaged about 15 completions and only like 150 yards per game. His last 4 games, he's averaged about 25 completions, up from 15, and about 250 yards passing, up from 150 yards passing. So I feel like Cam is starting to figure this out and put the ball in the air and run the offense. I mean, even JJ McCarthy wasn't averaging 250 yards passing. So, I think Cam, I don't know. I think he's got a shot. I think he's got to keep it going and let's see what happens. Even though it's not turning into wins. I mean, his supporting cast is poor. I mean, Ridley, what do I even say? It's not working right now.
Trade him.
Um, Io Manor, DK. I mean, geez, how do you expect Ward to be successful with that type of setup? So, and then on the flip side, there's Indy, and they can do no wrong. They seem unstoppable on offense. I feel like every game is 30-14. I mean, I just feel like none of these games are even close. They're 7-1. They got the best record in the NFL. Nobody else has only one loss, and they're just steamrolling everybody. It's fun to watch. I mean, I just can't believe it's happening. It's fun to watch it happen. Though I am surprised. I thought Josh Downs would be more, especially in this type of successful offense. I would not have thought it would have been Pittman. If I had to bet money at the beginning of the season, I would have thought Downs would have been the guy. He was the one that was hitting all the metrics. He had the efficiency, he had the yak, he had all the stuff that I thought would make him better. Pittman was the guy with the back injury, and I don't know, just never seemed to be the guy. He wasn't the energy guy. He was just like I don't know, the possession receiver. But I mean, it is working for Pittman right now. I mean, I did a quick double check. I mean, he's wide receiver 7 on the season, and that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you say that Josh is having a Downs year?
Well played.
All right. So I think that wraps up this lopsided divisional matchup, but you did call the Colts the best team in the AFC, and they have not failed that just yet. But the next matchup here was a revenge game of the Packers at the Steelers, where Aaron Rodgers does return to face his old team. You and I picked the Steelers. Alex picked the Packers. And the Packers ended up winning this game 35-25. Kind of a weird score there. Love does outplay his mentor. And Wilson surprisingly split carries with Jacobs. It does seem like they're doing some load management or some injury, not prevention, injury maintenance, I would say would be the word. And Tucker Kraft explodes on National Tight End Day. And for the Packers, Christian Watson is back in a big way. He does lead all of the receivers. I don't expect that to continue, but it was nice to see that happen. And Roman Wilson has a bit of a coming out party as well. I know I gave up on him in Dynasty just recently. I gave up on Xavier Legette for the Carolina Panthers recently too, and it feels like they all start to go off as I give up on them.
Yeah, that happens to all of us. As for this game, the issue I think is the Steelers' defense, and that's just such a surprise for me to say based on their history and based on the D that they brought back from last year and the money they spent. It's the most expensive defense in the NFL. And I mean, they're just leaking all over the place. I mean, Slay and Ramsey
It's
just
not
seem
good.
like, I don't know, old guys back there. Porter. I mean, I thought Porter was going to be the next big thing. TJ, Hayward, the linebackers, Highsmith. I don't know. It's like, where are these guys? You know what I mean? It's like Rodgers is having a really good season. Was efficient again, no interceptions again. I mean, this is not on Rodgers. I mean, this is not on the offense. I mean, 25 isn't a ton of points, but it should be enough with the defense that they have, even against an offense like the Packers. So that has been their downfall. I mean, giving up a ton of points to Cincinnati, giving up a ton of points to the Packers. I mean, they got to figure this out. So as for the Packers, I mean, Love was really good. I feel like the Steelers defense is making everybody look good though. So I don't know how much to take from that. Tucker Kraft just, I mean, some of these plays, 59-yard catch. I mean, these guys aren't even trying to tackle them. It's like they're like, I don't know, throwing like a collarbone at him and trying to like tackle him with just like the collarbone. Just I don't know what the Steelers are doing, but it was pretty disappointing. It was at home. I thought the team was going to rally around Rodgers. That's why I picked the Steelers to win, and the D let them down.
Yeah, and as you said, this isn't on Rodgers. Rodgers looked good. The only thing I'll say is they won't play Micah Parsons every week. And it does seem like Rodgers was at least aware of where Micah Parsons was the entire game. So some of his throws were hurried up, and I'm assuming that he did not want to end up having to seek medical attention after this game. So he was doing his best to get rid of the ball and stay as healthy as possible because he knows he cannot help his team if he's injured. So,
I mean, that is the Micah Parsons factor, right? That's why he's paid.
quarterback money, basically.
There's more than the stats. There's more than the stat sheet that he brings to the table that is not counted or quantitative when we look at the box scores that makes him such a difference maker.
Yeah, and they were saying on the broadcast that Parsons and Watt are the two highest paid non-quarterbacks in the league. So that was a big talking point on the broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Makes sense.
We ready to hop over to Monday night football? The Commanders at the Chiefs. We all picked the Chiefs. Another blowout here as we had a Marcus Mariota start. And the Chiefs win 28-7. And Mahomes had a mostly positive day. There were a couple deflected picks, which I won't put on Mahomes at all. I think one went right through the hands of Kelsey. But Pacheco does appear to be the leading rusher, although he now has an MCL injury. I thought when he got up off the table and was celebrating last night that he was good to go, but I think that just means that his ACL was intact. And Kelsey and Rice appear to be the top two receiving options for the Chiefs, and then Worthy is the third now. Kelsey scores on National Tight End Weekend. And I saw Mahomes made sure he saved the ball because I think has the most touchdowns in Chiefs history now. I think he passed Priest Holmes for that. So that's a pretty big moment. And not too much to take away from the Commanders in this one, but hopefully Jaden Daniels returns this upcoming week or relatively soon.
Yeah, for the Chiefs, I mean, Rashi Rice seems like not only somebody who's helping unlock that offense. I mean, Mahomes was already the QB1 right before Rashi came back. It's just added another dimension. And in fantasy, I mean, I feel like he feels like a league winner right now. I mean, he was 9 for 93 in this game with a touchdown. And I think two other times he was stopped at like the one
Twice, yep.
or inside the one. I mean, this guy is just, he's got the grill. You see that smile he's got with all the diamonds, I think that was him with the grill. I mean, and he's got that it factor right now for that team. Pacheco hurt. Mahomes really figured it out. His first half was really bad. The two picks nothing seemed in sync. The second half, he had more touchdowns than incompletions. He really started to just figure it out and pick them apart. And whatever adjustments they made at halftime worked because they made this not even a game by the end. As for Washington, I mean, I think that, Jaden Daniels being out, I mean, I feel like there hasn't been like a huge drop off in the offense. Like when I watch them play, I feel like, I feel like they're still doing well with Mariota. He's running the ball, quick passes, accurate passes. I mean, that one moonshot he threw to Terry McLaurin from like one side of the field, and he threw it like into the clouds, and it dropped down to McLaurin on the other side of the end zone for a toe tapping touchdown. I just think he's been really good, but I mean, the Chiefs were just too much. McLaurin got in, then got hurt with the quad afterwards. Debo didn't do much. Even going back to the Chiefs, I mean, you talked about Worthy being third fiddle. I mean, what about Hollywood Brown? I mean, Hollywood Brown was pretty hot at the beginning of the season too, and now what is he, fourth fiddle on this team? I mean, I think Noah Gray had more catches than him
I still like
last
Thornton.
night. So, Thornton. So, I mean, there's a lot of weapons there. I mean, they do not miss Sky Moore, which is a surprise because I thought he was going to be the guy. You knew I had to get Sky in on this
I
conversation somehow.
I'm not even sure where Sky is these days, but yeah. I think he's on the IR
Yeah,
for
no,
the
I think
49ers.
I think the 49ers are waiting to unleash him. They're just trying to keep it fair
Till
right
all their
now.
receivers come back.
Yeah.
Uh,
But no, I think KC just shows they're the class. They're one of the top teams still to be reckoned with in the AFC after a poor start. And and what? They got Buffalo next week.
they
So that'll be fun.
It will. And that kind of leads us to closing out week 8 and our week 9 primer here. And we only have 4 bye weeks this upcoming week, and that would be the Browns. So Judkins does get a week off to get fully healthy. The Jets, which it'll be interesting to see if they go with Tyrod or Fields coming out of the bye. It'll be interesting to see if Breece Hall will be part of the team coming out of the bye. Then you have the Eagles, same thing with A.J. Brown there. And you have the Buccaneers, which they can get completely healthy, so you can have Godwin. Mayfield's been dealing with an injury as well, and that's why he's not running as much. And hopefully we can get those teams healthy for the stretch here. But the Ravens at the Dolphins is our first matchup. And in this matchup, we fully expect Lamar Jackson to return, and which came at a little bit of surprise because 4 days ago he wasn't ready, and now all of a sudden he's ready. So I did talk to Alex prior to this, and Alex is going to go the Ravens. And for me, I don't believe the Dolphins have it in them to win 2 games in a row, and I think the Ravens defense is getting slowly back up to strength, and give me the Ravens in this matchup as well. Jerome, who will you be taking?
I want to do something bold here, but I'm going to save it for a different game. So I'm going to say the Ravens. I mean, I feel like everything points to the Ravens. Vegas thinks the Ravens has a chance to win this division. I mean, for that to happen, I don't think it's going to come with losses to the Dolphins. So I'm taking the Ravens.
All right. We have the Falcons at the Patriots up next. Falcons have been abysmal in their games against the Dolphins and Panthers this year. Patriots have been on a 4 or 5 game win streak at this point and have beaten the Buffalo Bills. Actually, both of these teams have beaten the Buffalo Bills. But at home, give me the Patriots in this matchup.
I'm taking the Patriots too. It just feels like they've got the momentum right now. They're at home. I think this is a low scoring game. Whatever the under is, I think it's going to hit. I mean, I could see a 20-10 type of game.
All right. We'll make that a clean sweep. Alex has also picked the Patriots. Next matchup here is my Carolina Panthers against the Green Bay Packers. Alex has picked the Packers, and I will make that another. I don't like agreeing with him this much, but I'm also going to pick the Packers because I don't think Carolina can stop the offense again.
It's got to be the Packers for sure. I think they'll just impose their will, whether it's passing or running. I think they'll take whatever Carolina gives them, and I think they'll do it well, and I think they'll score touchdowns and not field goals to make this a blowout.
Is this just going to be a chalk week?
I hope not.
Me too. That's kind of boring. But the next matchup here is the Bears at the Bengals. And I'm going to go the Bengals in this matchup because I think their offense is better than the Bears' offense. And I don't think either defense is particularly good.
I'm going the Bengals too. I'm riding it. I mean, I picked the Bears last week. They did me wrong, and I'm not making that same mistake twice. So I'm going the Bengals, and this is going to be a T. Higgins week.
I've heard that before. Alex is going the Bears here, so that's our first difference of the week. The next matchup here is the Broncos at the Texans, and of course, Alex as a homer would pick the Texans. But I've seen enough from the Broncos that I believe that they can put up enough points on the Texans that the Texans cannot put up on the Broncos. So give me the Broncos.
I'm going the Texans here. I was just talking about how good their defense is, only giving up 14 points a game. I mean, the Broncos offense is humming right now, but I think they get stopped here, and I think that's what will surprise everyone. I think everybody's going to be riding high on the offense, and it's actually going to be the Texans defense that takes a fumble back for a touchdown or something, and not only keeps the score low, but puts 7 on the board for the offense.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, and I do believe this is two of the premier defenses in the league. So, and I know we don't believe that Patrick Surtain is going to be out for the next few weeks as well, so that will hurt a little bit.
Mhm.
I wanted to call him Patrick Sutton, but that Cortland Sutton's their wide receiver. All right, next one here is the Colts at the Steelers. Now, these are like your two sons battling here, Jerome. I'm going to let you go ahead and take this and let me know who you think's going to win this matchup.
I think it's going to be the Colts. The Colts got the offense. The Steelers do not have the defense. I think this is a bad recipe for Pittsburgh. I mean, it's at home, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I mean, being at home didn't work for the Packers game, and I don't think it's going to work this game either. So I'll take the Colts.
So Alex is going to take the Colts, but I'm going to take the Steelers in this matchup here.
Why?
So I believe every team does meet its match. This is not in the dome that they're used to. This is going to be in much colder weather, so that will change some of the things that Indy does, and we will see if it's for the better or for the worse, and I'm going to bet for the worse because Aaron Rodgers is cold weather tested. This Pittsburgh team is cold weather tested, and I could see them running into a little bit of a cold wall here.
Okay, we'll see.
All right. Next matchup here is the Chargers at the Titans. I'm not going to spend very long on this matchup. Alex is going the Chargers. I'm going the Chargers. And Jerome, we're turning it over to you.
I'm going to go the Chargers too.
Make it a clean sweep. All right. So the next matchup here is the Vikings at the Lions. And in this matchup here, I'm going to go the Lions because I don't think JJ McCarthy is any good. And that is my whole reasoning for this.
I'm with you. I think there is no way the Vikings can win this game with JJ at QB, at least not right now. So I'm picking the Lions.
Make it a Lions sweep. All right. Next one here is the 49ers at the Giants. And I think this will be a bit of a closer game. And Alex is going the 49ers, and I'm also going the 49ers.
I'm trying to find some bold pick for this week, but it is tough sledding right now. I'm going with the Niners. I think the Niners win. I think they've just got more weapons right now. And I think the shine with the Giants and the energy and the young guys, I feel like it's going to start wearing off. They lost last week. I think they lose this week.
All right. Let's hop over to the Jaguars at the Raiders. And in this matchup here, this is probably the closest to a 50-50 matchup this week, I believe. But I'm going to go the Jaguars because the Raiders really haven't shown much at all as a team yet this year.
I'm going to go the Raiders. I think Jags got to travel.
Both are off their buys.
I think Trevor Lawrence is junk. I think BTJ is junk. I think they're all junk. No, I'm just kidding. Partially. I just don't think that the Jags can win this game. I think this could be like a Max Crosby. Maybe he makes something happen. Genty makes something happen. Bowers comes back. I think it's just going to change things, and they're going to get the win.
All right. A little bit of a bold call there. All right. So we have the Saints at the Rams. And in this matchup, Alex has selected the Rams. I'm going to select the Rams, but they're also going to be my survivor lock it up pick of the week as well. Because I don't believe in Tyler Stroud at all, especially against a guy like Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I agree. I would not bet on Shook right now, so I would take the Rams.
Great. Now, the matchup of the week, which is in the 4 o'clock hour. So we'll be watching this in the 4 o'clock hour, and it's the Chiefs at the Bills. Now, there's one thing that's certain. The Chiefs beat the Bills every single postseason, but the Bills beat the Chiefs every single regular season, and I don't expect that to be discontinued now, so I'm going to go the Bills in this matchup.
What did Alex pick on this one?
Alex is going Chiefs, so you got to split the field goal uprights.
All right, I'm going the Bills.
The Bills.
Let's go Buffalo.
You have a strong connection up here as well, so I know you feel that magnetic pull.
Yep, that was the tiebreaker.
All right. So Seahawks at Commanders is our next matchup. Alex is going the Seahawks. I don't know if Jaden Daniels returns in this matchup. He's missed a lot of time already this year, so I really hope he does return. But I am going to go the Seahawks either way in this matchup.
All right, I'm going to go to the Commanders. I'm going to go the other way. I think Mariota is not bad if he ends up being the QB. And I don't know. I'm just not a believer in the Seahawks just yet. So I'm going to take Commanders at home.
Commanders at home, right. Seahawks coming off of the bye, I believe, too. So that was one of the tiebreakers for me is a little time off. Never hurt anybody.
Is there any data about post-bye week success?
All about coaches. Coaches is what it drills down to, and every coach is different coming out of the bye week.
Some coaches are better.
Some are worse without the
coming
cadence.
Out of the bye week.
Yeah, some are worse without the cadence. But that brings us to our Monday night matchup, and it's the Cardinals at the Cowboys. I believe that there's no way that the Cardinals can keep up with the Cowboys' offense, so I'm going to go the Cowboys in this matchup. Who are you taking, Jerome?
Who's going to be the QB for the Cardinals? Is it going to be Brissett
Murray.
Or is it going to be Kyler? Because if Kyler's the QB, then I'm taking the Cowboys.
I think it's going to be Kyler. And I'm not even sure if Marvin Harrison plays. He was a little bit banged up before their bye. The other reason I want to go back to the Bills game real quick. The other reason I was taking the Bills is because of the short week of the Chiefs as well. Like that does impact teams, especially in this high of leverage here. But Alex is also going to go the Cowboys, so that's a clean sweep. We have a lot of clean sweeps this week.
Yeah, that's a little lame.
All right. Anything else to add up to this matchup before we wrap her up?
No, that's all I got.
All right.
How about you? Anything? Any last words?
No last words. Good luck this week to everybody in fantasy, and
good luck to Alex.
Good luck, Alex.
All right. Well, that does it for another episode of the Never Too Early Fantasy Football Podcast. Thank you for downloading and listening to this episode. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Please leave us a comment or share the show. Every little bit helps.
You can find us on all podcasting apps by searching N2E Fantasy and with our handle at N2E Fantasy on all social media platforms. Please join our community and give us a follow. Until next time, take care of yourselves and remember, it's truly never too early for fantasy football. Thank you again. Bye, everybody.